You see, right now, the Democrats are trying to push the absolutely shameless and incorrect narrative that President Trump is somehow responsible for all of the recent aviation incidents. So today, what I want to do with you guys is go through everything the Democrats are saying, then completely destroy their entire narrative. So to kick things off, take a look at this brand new footage from yesterday's incident at the Toronto airport.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Now, folks, luckily there were no fatalities there, and as things stand right now, it looks like everyone is going to be all right. But it's this incident, among many others, that the Democrats are trying to blame on President Trump right now, because as you may have noticed, it seems like it's been a pretty bad couple weeks for airline incidents.
Then you're going to love this free software that each listing to get.
But so like I said earlier, nothing the Trump administration has done so far has actually had any negative impact on any of this. But regardless, you still have the progressive media trying to point their fingers. Take a look at this.
This is happening against the backdrop of massive cuts across the federal government, including at the FAA. Just going to put some up on the screen. Hundreds of FAA employees have been laid off as part of Elon Musk going through all the federal agencies. And then beyond the FAA, we have 10% of the CDC workforce, 3,400 at the U.S. Forest Service, 2,200 at the Interior Department, 2,000 at the Department of Energy, 1,000 at the VA.
And so that is pretty much the progressive narrative right now. Because of Trump's layoffs, airplanes are now falling out of the sky. Is that true? Absolutely not. And that's kind of the point of today's video. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But first, I want to say, if you guys enjoy the daily news coverage, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. But okay, you see, it's not just the progressive media that's trying to push this disgusting and shameless incorrect narrative, but it's also top-ranking Democrat politicians. One such Democrat is Biden's former transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg, who had this to say: "The flying public needs answers. How many FAA personnel were just fired? What positions and why?" Now, do you guys think that Pete Buttigieg actually cares, or do you think he's just looking to do a little bit of virtue signaling? Because me personally, I doubt his sincerity. But either way, President Trump's new transportation secretary, a guy named Sean Duffy, actually responded to Mr. Buttigieg and absolutely destroyed him. Take a look at this. Mayor Pete failed for 4 years to address the air traffic controller shortage and upgrade our outdated World War II-era air traffic control system. In less than 4 weeks, we have already begun the process and are engaging the smartest minds in the entire world. Here's the truth. The FAA alone has a staggering 45,000 employees. Less than 400 of them were let go, and they were all probationary, meaning that they had been hired less than a year ago. 0 air traffic controllers and critical safety personnel were let go. Mayor Pete chose to use this amazing department that is so critical to America's success as a slush fund for the Green New scam and environmental justice nonsense. Not to mention that over 90% of the workforce under his leadership were working from home, including him. The building was empty. When we finally get a full accounting of his mismanagement, I look forward to hearing from him. In the meantime, however, I will not rest until I return the Department of Transportation and its incredible employees back to its mission of efficiency and safety. So hey, did I tell you guys or what? He just completely set the record straight. Democrat narrative destroyed. But folks, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think the Democrats are going to let reality get in the way of pushing their narrative? Because the answer is no, absolutely not. In fact, let's go take a look at what Senator Chuck Schumer has to say about all of this. "I'm thankful that everyone in the flight incident in Toronto that took off from Minneapolis is safe, but we keep seeing these incidents day after day. Meanwhile, Trump's doing massive layoffs at the FAA, including safety specialists, and making our skies less and less safe. Democrats are fighting to protect the flying public." So once again, he's pushing the narrative that it's Trump's evil layoffs that are causing these aviation accidents. And so is that actually true? Of course not, no. But do the Democrats care? Also no. But okay, I want you guys to take a look at something else now. Trump's press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, just got done absolutely cooking the Democrats over this entire situation. Take a look at this.
Let's come back to the plane crash in Toronto that happened yesterday, and the fact that Democrats seem to be pointing the finger of blame at the president. I'm not quite sure how you make that connection when the crash occurred in a different country. But here's what Chuck Schumer said. He said, quote, "To those asking whether it matters that the plane's destination was in Canada, the flight took off from Minneapolis. The FAA was still responsible for inspecting the aviation equipment, and Trump just let go of FAA safety specialists. We have no idea what caused this crash. We have some video of it coming in for a hard landing, but we don't know if it was a failure of equipment or if it was weather, if it was pilot error, if it was something else." And yet you get the minority leader in the Senate immediately pointing fingers at the president. Your response?
It's incredibly irresponsible for Chuck Schumer to say such a thing when the investigation is still underway. And as you rightfully pointed out, John, this crash unfortunately took place in Canadian airspace with Canadian air traffic controllers overseeing it. And the facts about the FAA are that no air traffic controllers have been let go by Secretary Duffy or this new administration. In fact, Secretary Duffy has put great emphasis on hiring the best and the brightest air traffic controllers who want to be part of the FAA, and President Trump signed a very strong executive order to ensure that the FAA and all federal government agencies are focused on merit and skill-based hiring. We want the best and the brightest, the most competent individuals in positions, especially of public safety at the FAA, the Department of Transportation, and all departments across this federal government, so we can best serve the American people. So while Secretary Buttigieg and the Biden administration sat on their hands when it came to aviation safety for 4 years, this administration is taking it seriously and is actively recruiting the best and the brightest to join this very important field.
Excellently said. And so, folks, here's the deal. I'll tell you what's really going on here. Here's the reality. If you compare airline incidents in January and February of 2025 to the same time frame in 2024, just a year ago, there are actually fewer incidents happening right now. The truth is, most airline incidents aren't reported on by the national news, so we never really hear about them. And so now, only that Trump is back in the White House has the left-wing media decided to report on every single incident in order to try to put the blame on him. Even though, as we said earlier, nothing Trump has done has actually contributed to any of these airline accidents. So what that means is that what we're all witnessing coming out of the progressive media apparatus is just nothing but pure fear-mongering propaganda. And hey, I'm sure you all know why the progressive left is doing this. It's because they can't do anything else. They lose on every single issue. America has wholeheartedly rejected their entire progressive platform, and to top all of that off, Trump's approval ratings right now are literally through the roof. So hey, in conclusion, this behavior is really just status quo for the progressive left. Fearmonger, lie, and manipulate. There you have it. So folks, I think that's going to be a wrap for this one. Please go down below in the comments and let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video.